I have researched an extraordinary FBI agent who dedicated 25 years of his career to sitting across from some of the most dangerous individuals the US has ever encountered: spies, terrorists, and enemies of the state. Through this extensive experience, he discovered something that most people never learn: how to identify the most dangerous personalities you'll ever meet. And among all these dangerous types, none are more pervasive or destructive in everyday life than narcissists. His name is Joe Navarro, and in his decades of studying human behavior, he has encountered narcissists in every walk of life. From the highest levels of government to corporate boardrooms, from intimate relationships to everyday interactions, these individuals leave a trail of psychological destruction in their wake. In this video, I would like to share with you what he has learned about identifying, understanding, and protecting yourself from narcissists. I have researched that in his work, he has identified several warning signs that can help you spot narcissistic behavior early. First, pay attention to how someone talks about other people. Narcissists consistently portray themselves as victims and others as villains. They have a history of failed relationships, and it's always the other person's fault. Second, notice how they respond to criticism or feedback. Healthy people can listen to constructive criticism and consider whether it might be valid. Narcissists become defensive, angry, or dismissive. They'll often turn the conversation around to attack the person giving the feedback. Third, observe how they treat people who can't benefit them. Narcissists are skilled at charming people who have something they want, but watch how they treat service workers, subordinates, or anyone who isn't useful to them. Their true character emerges in these interactions. Fourth, pay attention to their empathy or lack thereof. When you're going through a difficult time, a narcissist will either ignore your situation entirely or somehow make it about themselves. They're incapable of genuine compassion or understanding. Finally, notice their relationship with the truth. Narcissists have a casual relationship with facts. They'll lie about small things for no apparent reason. They'll exaggerate their achievements and minimize their failures. They'll rewrite history to make themselves look better. If you recognize these patterns in someone you know, it's important to understand that you have limited options. You can't change them, fix them, or reason with them. Your only realistic choices are to minimize contact, set strict boundaries, or remove them from your life entirely. Setting boundaries with narcissists is particularly challenging because they don't respect other people's limits. They'll constantly test your boundaries, push against them, and try to convince you to lower them. You have to be absolutely firm and consistent in maintaining your boundaries, even when they try to guilt trip you or make you feel bad about it. Document everything if you're forced to interact with a narcissist, especially in professional settings. Keep records of conversations, emails, and incidents. This documentation can be crucial if you need to take legal action or report their behavior to authorities. Don't engage in arguments or try to prove your point. Narcissists don't argue to reach understanding or find solutions. They argue to win, to dominate, and to make you feel bad about yourself. The only way to win is not to play their game. Seek support from trusted friends, family members, or professionals who understand narcissistic abuse. Many people who haven't experienced it firsthand don't understand how psychologically damaging it can be. You need people in your corner who believe you and support your decision to protect yourself. Remember that narcissistic abuse can affect your judgment and decision-making abilities. You may find yourself doubting your own perceptions, making excuses for their behavior, or believing you somehow deserve their treatment. This is a normal response to psychological manipulation, but it's important to recognize it and work to overcome it. The workplace presents particular challenges when dealing with narcissistic individuals. If you can't simply leave, you need strategies for protecting yourself while maintaining your professional reputation. Keep detailed records of your work and interactions. Build relationships with colleagues who can witness their behavior. Focus on your own performance and don't get drawn into their drama. If you're in a leadership position and identify narcissistic behavior in your organization, take it seriously. These individuals can destroy team morale, create legal liability, and damage your company's reputation. Don't ignore warning signs or hope the problem will resolve itself. In personal relationships, the stakes are even higher. Narcissistic abuse in intimate relationships can cause lasting psychological damage. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, understand that it will likely get worse over time, not better. They may promise to change, attend therapy, or modify their behavior, but true change requires the kind of self-reflection and accountability that narcissists are incapable of. If you have children with a narcissistic partner, the situation becomes even more complex. Document everything. Prioritize your children's safety and well-being, and seek legal advice about your options. Children who grow up with narcissistic parents often develop their own psychological problems that require professional help. The financial abuse aspect of narcissistic relationships is often overlooked, but equally damaging. Narcissists frequently use money as a weapon to control and manipulate their victims. They may restrict access to funds, hide assets, or create financial dependence. If you're planning to leave a narcissistic relationship, careful financial planning is essential. Recovery from narcissistic abuse takes time and often requires professional help. Many survivors experience symptoms similar to post-traumatic stress disorder. They may have difficulty trusting others, making decisions, or feeling confident in their own perceptions. Trauma-informed therapy can be incredibly helpful in addressing these issues. It's important to understand that being targeted by a narcissist doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. In fact, narcissists often target the most caring, empathetic, and successful people. They're drawn to individuals who have something they want, whether it's emotional support, financial resources, or social connections. Prevention is always better than recovery. Learning to identify narcissistic behavior early can save you years of pain and trauma. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong about someone's behavior, don't ignore those feelings. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. If you consistently feel drained, confused, or upset, that's a red flag. In his years of studying human behavior, Joe Navarro has learned that most people are fundamentally good. They want to connect with others, build meaningful relationships, and contribute positively to the world. Narcissists represent a small but dangerous minority who exploit these natural human tendencies for their own benefit. The key to protecting yourself is education and awareness. Understanding how narcissists operate removes much of their power over you. When you can recognize their tactics, you're less likely to fall for their manipulation. When you understand that their behavior isn't about you, you're less likely to blame yourself for their actions. Remember that you have the right to be treated with respect, dignity, and kindness. You don't have to tolerate abuse from anyone, regardless of their position, relationship to you, or circumstances. Your mental health and well-being are worth protecting, even if it means making difficult decisions about relationships or career choices. Society is beginning to recognize the serious impact of narcissistic abuse. There are now support groups, specialized therapists, and resources available for survivors. If you're struggling with the effects of narcissistic abuse, know that help is available and recovery is possible. The most important thing to remember is that you're not alone. Millions of people have experienced narcissistic abuse and gone on to build healthy, fulfilling lives. You can too. It starts with understanding what you're dealing with, trusting your instincts, and taking action to protect yourself. In his work training executives and law enforcement officers, Joe Navarro always emphasizes the importance of recognizing dangerous personalities early. The cost of ignoring these warning signs is too high. Whether it's in personal relationships, professional settings, or positions of leadership, Narcissists cause immeasurable damage to individuals and organizations. The patterns he has described aren't just academic theories. They're based on decades of real-world experience dealing with some of the most dangerous individuals in our society. The same principles that helped him identify spies and terrorists can help you protect yourself from the narcissists in your everyday life. Your safety and well-being matter. You deserve relationships built on mutual respect, trust, and genuine care. Don't settle for anything less, and don't let anyone convince you that you should tolerate abuse in any form. Trust your instincts, set firm boundaries, and remember that the only person you can control is yourself. The knowledge he has shared with you today has the power to change your life. Use it wisely, share it with others who might need it, and remember that understanding human behavior is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. It's not just about protecting yourself from dangerous individuals, it's about building stronger, healthier relationships with the good people in your life. In a world where narcissism seems to be increasing, being able to identify and protect yourself from these individuals isn't just helpful, it's essential. Your future self will thank you for learning these skills today.